What's going on YouTube? Jeti Knight back with another video. And in this video, I'm going to be accepting YouTuber David Hayes' challenge. His challenge is to, well, let the man speak for himself.
Before I start this video, I want to touch on a couple key points. First, I've been wrong about things in the past. Second, it's possible for me to be wrong about things in the future. So while in this video I'm very negative on Bitconnect, I'm going to explain all of my reasons behind that. I am going to ask anybody if you have any conflicting information to post it about Bitconnect. And
before I start his video, I just want to say that these are the type of things that I like from people who are on the other side of things. What you're going to see is that he's going to be presenting some logical perspectives and his opinions, but you can see that he has accepted the fact that though he's also been right in the past, he's been wrong in the past. So he's looking for dialogue. He's looking to get information, and he's not looking to just say, well, this is my opinion and it's fact and it's truth and there's nothing that anyone can say about it, right? And these are the people that I feel that, though are on the other side of Bitconnect, are the people that I like to deal with. So definitely kudos to Mr. Hay for that.
And I'm also willing to offer a $1,000 bounty that I will pay personally to anybody that can prove that this trading bot is doing exactly what it says it's doing.
Okay, well, let's do that. I have a video that I made a few days ago, and it shows exactly how the trading bot operates when you see volatility in the Bitcoin market versus when Bitcoin consolidates. Here's the video. With this video really quick, what I want to touch on is quite a few questions that I've received in regards to the Bitconnect volatility software and the trading bot. And a few of the questions that I've received is there haven't been anything going on for quite some time with the trading bot in regards to a percentage kickout. And I just want to take time to explain that. As we can see, we have 0.59%. We had a really good day here at 1.33. Then we had a 0.06, a 0.14. Today is no kickout, and tomorrow is a 0.50. This is the situation. Bitconnect uses a trading bot. The trading bot is based on the volatility of Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is currently up 4.9%, basically 5%, right? But if we go back to the 25th, right, and we see that Bitcoin is about $4,200, it reached about, actually, this is exactly the 25th. It's at $4,342, right? If we notice throughout this whole time, Bitcoin basically consolidated. It stayed within the $4,300 range for the most part, right? Until today. And then it went up and it's almost at $4,600. Now, if you notice, if you go to the chart for today, we're currently sitting at an interest rate of 1.24%. The reason being is that we have volatility in the Bitcoin market. Things like this, when I see stuff like this, these are the things that I say is considered evidence to me of a trading bot. So as you can see, during the time from August 25th to the date that I had ending, there was a consolidation period in Bitcoin. And during that time, there was no large kickouts because there wasn't volatility in the Bitcoin market in order for the trading bot to generate an interest kickout. Based on what Bitconnect has stated in regards to their trading bot, this is direct evidence of the trading bot doing what it claims to be doing. Let's continue.
Because if somebody can prove to me, and the public for that matter, that the trading bot exists, the trading bot is making the profits, and then those profits are being redistributed to Bitconnect, I will immediately change my position. I'll become one of Bitconnect's biggest supporters, and I'll invest in it, and I'll easily recoup my $1,000 that I've paid as a bounty.
Okay, so based on what I just provided, and for the fact that we have numerous people on YouTube who have shown their interest kickouts, as well as their payments from referrals, it is safe to say, based on the evidence that I just provided, in regards to what the trading bot earns during volatility, as well as a lack of interest during the consolidation phase of Bitcoin, I believe it's safe to say that that proves that the trading bot is operating in a fashion that it has been represented to work as. And with that being said, is evidence of its existence. And for the fact that we have people like myself and other YouTubers who use Bitconnect and have shown the interest kick out to us, has been showing the referrals, and that, you know, money's being sent to our accounts and we being able to take those funds off of the platform. I think what I just presented confirms both of those situations. So I believe it is safe to say that that 1,000 bounty has been completed. But let's continue.
If it isn't, and this is a very elaborate Ponzi scheme, then it's something that I think everybody should be aware of and be cautious of. And so for those reasons, I've decided to make this video.
I agree. And before I continue, let's look up the definition of a Ponzi scheme, because I've noticed that pyramid scheme and Ponzi schemes are words that I hear thrown around often in this YouTube internet space. So what I want to do is I want to set the foundation based on what you just said, so when we move forward, people have a clear understanding of the definition of Ponzi scheme. Ponzi scheme is a noun, a form of fraud in which belief in the success of a non-existent enterprise is fostered by the payment of quick returns to the first investors from money invested by later investors. So I would suggest that this situation lies at the feet of those who may consider this a Ponzi scheme to show evidence of it being a Ponzi. But later on in this video, what I will do is show exactly how Bitconnect utilizes their platform and their coin to make these payments. And when I show that, you will see that it has nothing to do about paying first investors with money from later investors in the style that we typically see of Ponzi schemes, which you touch on in your video later on. But let's continue.
For those of you that subscribe to my channel, you'll know that I'm a huge supporter of blockchain technologies, and I absolutely love cryptocurrencies. So that's why it's so difficult for me to make any videos that spread fear and doubt. Because the last thing that I want to do in this incredibly innovative and new space is start telling people to be scared or start telling people to be skeptical. Because overall, blockchain technologies are incredible. I think that as they get adopted, they're going to completely change the way our financial systems work, and I believe for every 99 good technologies and good platforms out there, there may only be one bad one.
I just want to say that I greatly respect your level of responsibility when it comes to FUD and fear-mongering. You know, you have a particular opinion, you have a particular feeling on Bitconnect, but your intention isn't to spread negativity or fear. And, you know, with that, I once again want to extend kudos to you.
And so it's difficult for me to talk about Bitconnect in this sense because I have been reviewing it and I have been researching it for a number of weeks. And when I initially started to review it and when I started to think about making this video, a lot of my feedback was quite positive. And it's only after time and signing up to Bitconnect and really learning more about its business model that I've started to become increasingly worried about what it actually is. Bitconnect's unique value proposition can really be boiled down to one trading bot. And this trading bot is supposedly taking advantages of fluctuations in the price of Bitcoin. So as the price of Bitcoin goes up and down, this bot is successfully buying and selling, and every day it is bringing in a return of at least 1%. And that's when a big red flag comes up, because...
Well, on average, Bitconnect has provided close to a 1% return. Bitconnect does not guarantee at least 1% every single day. One of the great things that I find with Bitconnect is the fact that they have fluctuating interest kickouts. So actually, let me go to my account. So I'm in my account. I'm going to go to Lend Bitconnect tab. And as you can see, we have different interest kickouts every single day. Some have been below 1%, some have been over 1%, some have been 0. Yesterday we had a 0% kickout, right? And it's because the trading bot either received 0 interest or actually took a loss on that day. I've actually done a video about that before because people are saying that this is like the most sophisticated trading bot ever created and it never takes a loss, and that's not true. The days that they don't make profit or take a loss, what they do is they don't provide a kickout to the customers like we had yesterday. This is the difference between Bitconnect and other platforms that guarantee percentages every day, though they say that they trade on Bitcoin's market. Let's continue.
Once you start talking about returns of 364% a year or 365% a year, that's not really common in the marketplace. If you're a great trader, you might make 30% on your investment in a year.
I can agree with that, but at the same time, it also depends on the type of markets that you're talking about. If you're taking the percentage gains in crypto and then saying that that's very unusual in a market within a year, but then your perspective is based on, for example, the stock market, then of course it's going to seem ludicrous. But I've made a video in the past where I compared the S&P 500 and the last 10 years of what it's done, and I compared it to the last year of Bitcoin, where Bitcoin in 1 year has done about equally, or I think based on its latest run-up, it has actually outperformed what the S&P 500 has done the past decade. Now, anybody who is familiar with the stock market will then look at Bitcoin and say that that is absolutely ridiculous, right? And based on what Bitcoin has done, it has gone up multiple folds within the last year. I think in January, Bitcoin was at $850. It just passed $5,000 before it began to retrace a little bit. But to go from $850 to $5,000 in about an 8-month span, when do you see that in any type of typical stock market? So it depends on the type of market that your perspective is based on.
So to be able to 10x that is a red flag. But a lot of things in cryptocurrency have been going up a lot lately. Because this is a new technology, I'm willing to say, okay, maybe in some mechanisms or in some ways, a 365% return is possible. But then when you start to dig deeper into the technology, you start to get a little bit more worried. Because you think, well, if Bitconnect's developers have developed this trading bot, why did they waste their time with a cryptocurrency? Why wouldn't they just turn this crypto bot on and make so much money and not even deal with any of this headache? If they were really making as much money...
I don't really understand the headache aspect of things, but it seems like based on what Bitconnect has done since their coin has gone public, the last thing that I would assume Bitconnect would want to call their success is a headache. Bitconnect started with around $800,000 in market cap, if I'm correct, on January 20th of this year. As of today, it's over $800 million in market cap. that's one heck of a headache. And if that's a headache that I could have, I would take it.
Money as they say they are, they could go to any bank, they could go to any financial institution, any high net worth individual, and they would have almost unlimited capital to go and play with in the marketplace.
Well, I think that's just something that's thrown out there, because before Bitconnect's $800 million market cap, and actually before Bitconnect's ICO, all Bitconnect had was a trading bot and a coin that they developed. Now, Bitconnect is currently at $800 million, right? Now, imagine going to a bank and asking a bank, can I borrow $800 million because I have a trading bot algorithm and I have a crypto coin? Now, generally speaking, Bitconnect would be going to a bank in a compromising position. If you're asking for a loan, then there's going to have to be some type of collateral that you can put on the line in order for the bank to entrust that, one, you can pay this loan back, and if you don't, then we can take whatever assets that you have that could be considered collateral in order to make the bank whole. We don't know if Bitconnect could, have done that at that time. $800 million is a lot of money, but actually what I'll do is I'll fraction that off. I wouldn't even say 800 million. Let's just say 100 million. I'll take a fraction of their current market cap. And if you go to a bank and ask for $100 million, that is not the same as being able to make a trading algorithm, create a coin on blockchain technology, and create a service in which they can garner customers that can bring money into the platform. That's much easier than going to a bank and asking a bank for $100 million or $800 million. Because you don't have to ask the customers for that money. What you can do is just provide the customers with a particular service, which is exactly what they're doing. Now, Bitconnect doesn't have to put up any collateral when they do that, because they're not in a compromised position as they would be if they went to a bank. Instead, they're in a power of strength because based on their trading algorithm, based on their platform, based on their coin, they can have customers come in and bring in the money, and then through that have the customers benefit by interest rate kickouts, by being able to issue referrals, and to continue to establish liquidity on the platform. Just because somebody can go to a bank and ask for $100 million or $800 million doesn't mean that they're guaranteed to get that from the bank. So basically your question is just a hypothetical, but there's nothing substantial behind that. It's only a question that questions what Bitconnect could have possibly did. Though when you look into it deep, it doesn't mean that the bank would have done it. But on the flip side, what Bitconnect has actually done was take a market cap and a coin that started off at $700,000 for a market cap and 16 cents for a coin, and then they flipped that by using exactly what they've done with customers, and they flipped that to a $800 million plus market cap and a coin that went from 16 cents to over $130 per coin. And they did that in 8 months.
Not to mention the fact that you're able to recoup your initial investment of 3 or 4 months. So this whole need for a cryptocurrency to exist, if somebody had successfully created a trading bot that was guaranteed to bring you 1% every day, it just wouldn't make sense.
Well, it's not guaranteed to bring you 1% every single day. On average, it is basically close. Let's go back to my account and let's show that. If you go for the last 30 days, it's around 1%, it's 0.97%. If you go for the last 6 months, it's 0.92%. If you go for the last 7 days, it's 0.95%. But if you go on each and every day, there are days where you don't get kickouts. There are days where it's under 1%. So on average, sure. But this is not something that is guaranteed. And going back once again to the video that I showed previously, you can see that when Bitcoin is consolidating, or if there's no volatility in Bitcoin's market, then it is very hard for the trading bot to generate a profit.
It reminds me of that scene from The Office.
Phil has recruited me and another guy. Now we are getting 3 people each. The more people that get involved, the more people who are investing, the more money we're all going to make. It's not a pyramid scheme. It's not even a scheme per se. I have to go make a call.
One of the counter arguments I've seen to this 1% trading bot is that, well, it's simply too big of a cryptocurrency to be a Ponzi scheme. And then that makes me think of the housing price bubble in 2008. It makes me think of Bernie Madoff. And it reminds me that a lot of really smart and savvy investors have been fooled in the past. Really the best of the best.
Okay. Before I move on and show, based on what I see on the platform, how the payments work and how it's not a Ponzi scheme, let's go back to Ponzi scheme and its definition. A Ponzi scheme is a form of fraud. It is fraudulent, in which belief in the success of a non-existent enterprise is fostered by the payment of quick returns to the first investors from money invested by later investors, right? Well, let's go and let's see how Bitconnect pays people. Number one, let me go back and let me show Bernie Madoff's face. Bernie Madoff ran a Ponzi scheme, and his Ponzi scheme was based on taking money from his investors with the intent of paying them their money back as well as interest or profit on the money that they initially invested. Correct? Bernie Madoff, the funds, the assets that he used in order to pay off people profit is not something that he controls, meaning legal tender, the US dollar, right? That is not the same situation with Bitconnect. In my lending wallet, it states that I have $220.17, right? But I really don't have 220 US dollars in my account. What I have is a valuation here, right? Just like we have one Bitconnect coin, it is valued at $134.57. In order for me to get anything from my interest or my referrals, whatever created a return for me that goes into my lending wallet, the very first thing that I have to do is I have to transfer that to my Bitconnect wallet, which means that they're not paying me dollars. They're not paying me dollars, something that they don't control. They're paying me, they're making me whole on something that they absolutely control, right? Which is Bitconnect coins. This is where the Ponzi scheme aspect of things falls on its face, in my opinion. Because Ponzi schemes are predicated on paying people back based on something that they do not have control of, and if they're not actually making profit, then that is what creates the Ponzi scheme. But what Bitconnect is doing, they're paying people based on the valuation of their coin, a coin that they themselves control, right? So once I transfer over to my Bitconnect wallet, the fulfillment of the agreement that I have with Bitconnect has been fulfilled, right? Now I must go to the exchange if, in fact, I want to go and take these coins off of the platform. I can exchange that for Bitcoin. And then I can take my Bitcoin, take it to Coinbase, take it to Gemini, whatever I want to do if I want to convert that to cash. Now, once I convert that to cash, that has nothing to do with Bitconnect because that's not happening on Bitconnect's platform. That would be happening on, for example, Coinbase platform. You see what I'm saying? But keep in mind now, the community that are on the exchange on Bitconnect are the people who purchased my Bitconnect coins, right? So when they purchased my Bitconnect coins and exchanged their Bitcoins for my Bitconnect coins, these individuals are going to do one or two things. Either they're going to hoard the coin, hold it, maybe they want to stake the coin or something, but usually when people are on the platform, what do they want to do? They want to issue a loan. So the coins that Bitconnect just paid me in order for me to transfer the profits that I made, in order for them to make me whole by issuing the Bitconnect coins to me, those coins that I just exchanged on the Bitconnect Bitcoin exchange, those people who gave me their Bitcoin are now most likely going to try to submit a loan. Those coins that I just gave them, they're going to give it right back to Bitconnect. Because what they're going to do is they're going to go to Lend Bitconnect and they're going to submit a loan. When they submit a loan, they have to put in a dollar amount because the valuation of the loans are based in US dollars. But what they're paying in is Bitconnect coins. It's not a Ponzi scheme because they control the asset, the tool in which they pay their customers. Bernie Madoff never controlled the US dollar, so he could not pay what he didn't control. This is the problem with Ponzi schemes. So when people make the comparison of Ponzi schemes, this is why I always make sure that I show the definition of Ponzi scheme so people can have a clearer idea of what a Ponzi scheme is. Bitconnect is running a scheme, yes, but it's a schematic. It's not a scam. It's not a Ponzi because the tool in which they're paying people is what they control. That is the genius aspect about their platform, and this is why I use it.
Bernie Madoff, and it reminds me that a lot of really smart and savvy investors have been fooled in the past, really the best of the best, and in a completely unregulated cryptocurrency market and in the age of social media marketing, I feel like the average investor in Bitconnect would be a lot less savvy than, say, a person that...
Let me stop and let me say that the referral program is indeed a pyramid because it has different levels. But that does not mean you cannot associate the two. Just because the referral program is based in that fashion does not mean that the way Bitconnect pays people is in that fashion. Taking money from the bottom people and bringing it up to the top people in a way of paying old investors money from new investors, right? We have liquidity on the market, sure. We have people coming in all the time. We have people making loans. We have people staking, but we are being paid on the value of the coin that they control, right? So I'll give you an example. When I made my very first loan on May 29th, Bitconnect coin was at 17 bucks. 420 divided by 17. So it took me 24 coins to make that loan. Now, say if they decide that they're going to pay me based on my capital release. Say if my capital release was today and they had to pay me my capital back. Remember, they're not paying you the Bitconnect coins that you use to issue the loan. They're paying you the capital, what the loan represented in dollar terms. So that's what we have to worry about. Well, Bitconnect coins have a dollar amount. So if you take $420 and you divide that by $134, Bitconnect got 24 coins from me to get my initial loan. But if I had a capital release today, in order to make me whole, they would have to give me 3. They've gained 21 coins in that fashion. Now imagine the amount of people who made loans between the time the coin was issued to the time that I made my loan in May, right? That was back when the coin was between 16 cents and $17. The people who are getting their kickback are getting a fraction of the coins that they spent to make the loan, but the value of the coins will make them whole based on the capital that they use to implement the loan, right? We cannot associate this situation with the pyramid structure of their referral program, because their referral program is nothing but a way of having employees without calling them employees, right? You have people who are on the platform, and whatever type of volume that they generate from referrals, you have a transaction tab. And in that transaction tab, if you go all the way down to the bottom, it lets you know the value of money that their account is directly or indirectly responsible for when it comes to referral monies that have entered based on their account, on the left side that is, and on the right side you can see the monies that they've made based on that. So it's no different than a company who has employees. Bitconnect is like a company in that capacity. And instead of having an office with employees, what they do is they pay people via referrals. We get it because referrals have like this aura around it where it's become like this nasty word. The moment we see referrals, it seems like, oh, well, this is a pyramid scheme, this is a scam. And there are plenty of companies who use referral programs. Coinbase started itself off, and still does to this day, by using the referral system. And not only that, when you use the referral system, the person who issued the referral and the referee both get paid. So yes, sure, the referral program is based in a pyramid structure, but that doesn't make Bitconnect a Ponzi scheme. It just doesn't. Because at the end of the day, you have to separate what is structured as a pyramid scheme in regards to referrals, and then separate how they're actually paying people, which is in Bitconnect coins, something that they absolutely control. They control the coin, they control the asset in which they pay people. And people are willing to accept that. This is why making a platform like this, while implementing the coin is what makes this work. The coin is what makes it sustainable. This is why I don't deal with any other platform, because seeing, number one, the fact that they don't have a coin in order to make this viable and sustainable, and for the second fact of them guaranteeing returns, when we both know that when you trade, you never are guaranteed a kickout, yet they guarantee returns. It is simply unsustainable. But that is not what Bitconnect does. They have fluctuating interest, they have days where they take losses and you do not get a kickout for that day, and then they issue payment in an asset that they control. Let's continue.
And invested in one of the Madoff Ponzi schemes. So for that reason, the fact that it's an $800 million plus cryptocurrency and it has a huge user community, initially I saw that as being a very positive thing, and thinking that meant that a lot of people would have done their research, there would have been due diligence done, and I thought that when I started researching more about this trading bot, there would be a lot of hints, or there would be a lot more information about the trading bot. You would think that it would be very easy, for example, to expose very small data sets and show the Bitcoin addresses where the money had gone in and out, and you'd think that for an $800 million organization, just a little bit of a proof of stake, or at least a little bit of proof of technology, would be that all that's needed to completely displace any of these rumors.
Okay, so your problem is the fact that they're not transparent on their trading bot and their algorithm. Well, that's different than it being a Ponzi scheme. And that's also different than actually seeing evidence, which we do see evidence based on when we see volatility in Bitcoin's market versus consolidation in Bitcoin's market. Those are two very different things. I can totally understand when you're talking about lack of transparency, but that is also up to the controllers of the trading bot, or the founder, or the people behind Bitconnect. They don't have to do that, right? But that doesn't make their $800 million market cap some sort of fraud based on a Ponzi. It just doesn't. It simply means that they're not transparent on a algorithm or trading bot that basically has created their situation to even have an $800 million market cap. Because the majority of people who are dealing with Bitconnect are on the lending platform. That's just what it is. So if it's predicated on that, then that is their most precious asset. That is something that they need to protect. And they don't have to expose that information or release that information to people based on rumors, based on speculation, because they don't deal in speculation. They deal in results. And once you look at the movements of the volatility software, and you can see the returns based on volatility and consolidation, when you see that they have days where they have kickouts and days where they don't have kickouts and they take a loss, they simply don't pass the loss on to us. And this was something that was reconfirmed in their latest, one of their latest conferences over the summer, when they said that they have a reserve account for things like that, right? So this is more of feeling and not based on any sort of facts.
And another thing that's unusual is nearly all the cryptocurrencies have a white paper and they have a board of directors. And their board of directors are typically people that have experience in the blockchain technologies or involved in the blockchain technologies. And yet when you get to Bitconnect, everybody's hidden. And they say, well, we don't want to run into problems with regulations and we don't want to run into legal problems. I mean, and that's true with any of the cryptocurrencies. But simply hiding your identity, to me, is more of a hindrance than a help. And
who's the creator of Bitcoin, the granddaddy of all crypto? Nobody knows. The biggest, most influential, most liquid, most dominant coin in crypto, no one has a clue who created it. We know people who've looked at the blockchain, understood the blockchain after studying it. They've seen the potential and they've decided to support the coin. They decided to help, in some sort of development. You have people who've mined the coin. You have people who've participated in the expansion of the coin. But who is the creator of the coin? No one knows. So again, it was an indictment on Bitcoin years ago, but that was when this was a new thing. Now that we've seen the actual potential, especially when it comes to people who are getting returns on this, nobody cares about who the creator is, because people see the expansion and the potential being fulfilled in crypto. So they want to keep themselves hidden for the same reason that the creator of Bitcoin want to keep themselves hidden. Because sooner or later, it's no longer going to be about them. It's going to be about the potential of the platform and the coin.
And now I look at this scheme, and that's, in my opinion, what it is.
It's a scheme, but in the longer version of that word, it's a schematic. It's just the way they've structured it that people need to understand. On the surface, I can totally understand how people can consider it a scam, especially when you can compare it to other things that may be out on the market or certain platforms that were fly-by-nights. They open up for a week, they close their door, and from the time that they opened on Monday till they closed on Sunday, they, took people for $1 million+ in Bitcoin. But once people look in depth and see how it is structured, then it begins to be apparent that it is not what people thought it may have been.
And I see that it's really built on a couple things. The first thing is that it's really geared for the new social media marketing. And the reason that I say this is Bitconnect's strongest source of growth is its affiliate program. So instead of having a huge marketing team, instead of needing to create its own content, it really just relies on YouTubers like myself, other people on Facebook, to really help spread its message. And in exchange for helping spread the message, they get a very large portion of the profits or the proceeds.
Yeah, I agree. Because they're acting like employees, and their way to be compensated is through the referral program. But the referral program is sustainable. I've written a blog post on it. I've had a YouTuber, Jason, who took that blog post and, made it into a video. And it was based on my example, or my opinion, I should say. I'm not saying it was 100% right, but I think that I was somewhere in the ballpark, right? So again, you can have a company that has employees, right? And when you call them employees, you know, it's okay suddenly. But when you have people who are on the internet who are, you know, making videos such as myself or maybe even yourself, and they're showing the, you know, what is actually happening on the platform, then via the referral program, this is how you can pay those people. And those people are paid based on the volume amount that those referrals that they're responsible for in respects to referrals. So even in that regard, it's absolutely fair. So you don't have to have a situation where you have a compartmentalized pyramid, typically what we see in the business model, and then you have one person like a CEO, CFO, and then you have, you know, directors and then managers and then, you know, employees under them. Sometimes you have people who could do better things or maybe outperforming those who are above them, but their pay doesn't reflect that. In respects to referrals, it all is based on what your account is directly and indirectly responsible for when it comes to the levels of the referral program, and based on those levels you receive a kick out. It's just really that simple. And once again, I do not disagree with you. It is based on a pyramid because level 1 has a particular percentage, level 2 has a particular percentage that is less than level 1, so on and so forth. But that does not represent the structure in respects to Bitconnect's lending platform. And it also doesn't represent how Bitconnect pays people in value via their Bitconnect coins, something that they control.
So instead of making a video about why I think Bitconnect was a scam, if I made a video about how I was able to achieve fantastic investments with Bitconnect, and if I dropped an affiliate link on the bottom of this, I would stand to make a substantial amount of money. Luckily for me, I'm already involved in cryptocurrencies. I've been involved for a long time. I don't really need the affiliate link, and I'm much more interested in providing good information to the general public than I am on trying to make a couple bucks.
Okay, well, you know, that's your personal position. There may have been a time when you were new to crypto, and your perspective before you've made yourself, or put yourself, I should say, in a very comfortable position based on crypto, your whole perspective could have been different. So, yeah, sure. A person who is living check by check may have a different perspective than a person who may be sitting on millions and really doesn't have to do certain things for money, right? But that doesn't change what Bitconnect is, what your personal situation is. That's simply your personal situation. I've had conversations or I've heard people mention certain things like this before. You know, they may be financially well off, they may be retired already. It may be a situation where, you know, financially they don't need referrals. But there are also people who work on the internet and they use platforms that provide passive income, and there's also nothing wrong with that. That shouldn't be considered some sort of indictment because they do, right? I do, and I greatly appreciate my passive income, but I also own property and I get passive income from that, and I also have a job. I don't need Bitconnect, but you know, it is a great platform that I support. And sure, I don't, I have my my referral link available for those who, seek it. But if you go through all 140 of my videos, you don't see me promoting every 2 minutes my referral link. I don't ever speak about it. I provide content, and based on that content, those who decide that they would like to be part of my team are those who seek my referral link and use it, right? So just because there are individuals who do certain things certain ways, that shouldn't be a reflection on Bitconnect as a whole. And just because you are financially well off doesn't make Bitconnect a scam because you don't have to use a referral program. But congratulations on your financial freedom, most definitely, because I would like to have something similar.
And while that might be true in my case, I think that probably for 9 out of 10 YouTube channels that isn't the case. And a lot of people that are either doing this as a hobby or a part-time gig, they really need some money, or they need to generate that money. And that money doesn't come through Google AdSense or even most other affiliate programs. For example, this channel, which is going to get somewhere around 300,000, 400,000 views this month, is probably going to pay under $1,000 in AdSense revenue. And when you think about the time and the energy and the effort involved with making these videos, that's literally nothing.
Precisely.
And I'm happy to do it because I'm passionate and I like this space, but I start looking at the type of people online that are promoting Bitconnect, and it always seems to be this same demographic of people. It seems to be these people that are promising get rich quick, but then themselves, they don't seem like they're that rich. I mean, they're filming episodes, in their bedroom, they're filming episodes sort of in their car, but nothing about the people that promote Bitconnect make me think that they're actually really making money, or for that.
Well, maybe there are people who don't like to spend their cash on things that would make them seem wealthy. This is basically, that's just your perspective on things. Yeah, sure, there are people who record videos in their car, right? There are people who record videos in their bedroom. But just because they record in their car or in their bedroom, or in my case, they just record their screen, they do a screen capture, they don't even show their face, right? It doesn't reflect their progress within the platform. One thing that you can say is anybody that you've seen on the platform, whether they have referrals or not, you have not seen anybody complain about their returns, right? Whether it's based on the loans, strictly the loans. And see, I'm in both camps, because when I started Bitconnect on May 29th, for the first 12 weeks, I didn't accept referrals. I wasn't sponsored by anyone, and I refused to accept referrals because I wanted to prove that you can indeed make your money back and earn profit on the platform without referrals. And once I proved that, I then began to accept referrals, and that was basically in the second half of July. So I've just been over a month accepting referrals. But for the first almost 2 months, I didn't accept referrals. Basically, it was 2 months. For the first 2 months, I didn't accept referrals. And I generated money. Now, granted, I do see the difference between the two. But what I'm saying here overall is, just because somebody is using Bitconnect doesn't mean that they have to be filthy rich and they have to, drive fancy cars, or at least the cars that they're recording in. Or they have to record with, a $10,000 bed in a room that's part of a mansion, right? A lot of people may like to do different things with their money. But one thing that you can say for sure is if you ask any of those individuals that you may or may not be referring to, those individuals would most likely say that they've been quite satisfied with their payout. And at the end of the day, that is all that matters, that they're satisfied with the platform. Just like you're satisfied with your performance of your coins that you've had since you've been doing it for years, that has made you financially well off.
That matter that they're really savvy investors. They seem to be very much on this pyramid scheme of, let me tell you how much money I'm making, you can make this much money.
I absolutely agree with that, which is the reason that if you go through my videos, you don't see me pumping my referral code. I don't speak about my referral code. I don't refer people to my referral code. I don't say, look, check this out. Be part of my, downline and do this. I provide content. I provide value. What I'm doing here by doing this type of response and engaging you is for the most part what my YouTube channel is predicated on. I found out about you, brother, by my subscribers who informed me about your video. Because what I do is I make videos and then I respond to everybody there. And if you go into my comment section, you can speak to anyone and you can ask any random person, has Jeti Knight ever forced you or sold you, not forced, sold you on using his referral code? Does he advertise? You don't have to ask me. You can ask anybody who is within my viewership and they will back that I don't do that, right? So on a general aspect, I absolutely agree with you. But just because individuals do that, granted, it could make Bitconnect look scammy from the outside looking in, but just because there are individuals who do that doesn't mean that Bitconnect is a scam. It just means that those particular YouTubers have chosen that route in order to get referrals. I don't need to do that. I'll allow my content to do the talking. And if anybody who decides to use my link uses my link, right? But I don't ever talk about my referral code, ever.
And that's another really big red flag. Another problem that I see with this trading bot is it literally never loses money. I've seen...
That's not true. And here's a video explaining to another YouTuber that the trading bot does not make money every single day, and it actually takes a loss. Here you go. What's going on, YouTube? Quick video. Robert Kennedy just had a question for me. He says, "Hey Jedi, can you make a video about why trading bot never takes a loss?" This is the daily interest chart. On this day, which is the 6th of July, right? The rate of interest was 0%, meaning that we received a 0% kickout for that day. That is the last day that we've received a 0% kickout. The reason why we received a 0% kickout is because the trading bot didn't earn money, didn't make profit. It took a loss that day. The situation is Bitconnect does not push losses on us. What they do is they have fluctuating interest rates. As I stated in my video, where actually it was a blog post that I made that Jason created a video for, and I explained how, one, Bitconnect can take profit, but basically what happens, because it's a trading bot, they don't guarantee you interest because it trades on the exchange. When they take a loss, Bitconnect eats the loss. They don't pass the loss to the customer, but what they don't do is guarantee us a percentage. So if they take a loss that day, they eat the loss, but we don't get an interest rate kick out. So it's not that the trading bot does not take a loss. It does take a loss. It's just that Bitconnect eats the loss. And in return, they don't pay us an interest rate because the bot took a loss. Okay, so let's move on.
In videos where people post their results and they're showing their daily payouts in the system, but if you were running a trading bot, I think every trading bot loses money. And the other thing that makes it even more confusing to me is that when you sign up to Bitconnect, in order to make these great returns, you have to stake your money. And by staking your money, you're basically tying it up for anywhere between 6 months, 4 months, and a year. And so once you've staked that money, you're not able to withdraw it, you're not able to trade it, it just has to sit in that account. You get a little bit of money given to you every day as the interest, but the majority of your funds are still sitting in this account and they're locked up.
That's absolutely true. And that is the structure in which Bitconnect has, made their platform. But you're not forced to do that. There's other ways that you can utilize Bitconnect strictly through their coin. You can not stake your money, meaning via a loan, and keep that capital locked for X amount of days. You can actually buy Bitconnect coins and stake the coin. And you can take out those coins anytime you want. You just have to wait. You get paid out every 15 days. But anytime you feel like stopping, staking of the coins, you can stop at any time, right? So that is just the structure in which the loans are, established in regards to, getting an interest kick out. But with that said, we've also seen quite a few people who've had capital releases, meaning that after their money was locked in for X amount of time, they've had capital releases. And a lot of those capital releases are big sized loans, because those big sized loans had less days. So if the person who had $11,000, their money was only locked in for 120 days, right? So we've seen quite a few videos of people who had, $10,000 plus capital released to them, right? So sure, that is their structure, but once you see the proof of the money being released back to them in whole, as well as their interest already being paid out during duration of the hold, I don't see what the problem is here, right? It seems that Bitconnect simply satisfied their agreement when they held the money. And also, there are other financial institutions that do that. When you go to a bank and you take out a CD, say if you want to do a 1 year or a 5 year CD, you can't touch that money. And on top of that, you can't touch the interest either. With Bitconnect, you can touch the interest every single day that there's a payout. And if there's a day that there's not a payout, then there's no money to touch. But every day that you receive an interest payout, you can take that money off the platform immediately.
And I think that provides a great mechanism for stability in the Bitconnect price, because obviously if there was a crash tomorrow, there'd be a ton of people that just simply can't sell their coins because they've staked them and they're committed to this process.
Well, they can stop staking. It sounds to me like you switched from the loan aspect to the coin aspect. When you're staking the coins, you can stop staking at any time, you know? In order to start executing on your stake, meaning to get the profit, you have to be staking consecutively for at least 15 days. But anytime you want to stop staking, you can stop.
But if this bot is operating every day, it's operating buying and selling Bitcoin. So there has to be a conversion if this bot is actually going and trading Bitcoin between the Bitconnect currency and the Bitcoin currency. Or what happens if the price of Bitconnect shoots up and yet the price of Bitcoin shoots down? Let's assume that the bot was successfully able to make it spread and it made 1%, but as soon as it needed to convert that money from Bitcoin back to Bitconnect, if the Bitconnect price had shot up, then logically, even if the bot had made its money in the margin, it would lose money when it's converting back to Bitcoin Connect.
Well, yes and no. It may lose the value based that they're going to move that money that they used basically to generate funds from Bitcoin's market over to Bitconnect. But what you just stated and then immediately forgot about is that the Bitconnect price also went up in price on every coin because you have one price for every coin, right? So if you have a situation where the Bitconnect decides that on today, right, they're gonna go and they're gonna trade on Bitcoin's market. Say if they make $20 on that market, and by the time they finished, the Bitcoin price went from $130 to $140. Yeah, when they put in the money that they made from Bitcoin's market today, they can put that into, the coins. And yeah, they may not have been able to buy as many coins than what the price was back in the morning when they started the trading. But you have to also take into consideration that the coins itself went up from $130 to $140. On top of the fact that the new money that they're bringing in from the market is also going to go into the coin as well to help support that new price. So I don't understand the issue here. You basically stated that the price of the coin went up, and though you can't buy as much coin because of that, you kind of at the very same time negated the fact that the coin price went up. I think that's something that Bitconnect users are not going to complain about.
So it's for this reason that some of the mechanics of this system don't seem to add up, and I wish that they'd put more energy into better explaining this side of the business, because if they put as much energy into explaining their platform and how it worked as they did into their affiliate marketing program, I think a lot of these concerns would easily be addressed.
Okay, I think Bitconnect has explained how their platform works, as well as their referral code or their referral system, which is part of the platform. But that is also something that is optional, right? But it's not like Bitconnect has not explained how their platform works. I think what you're trying to say is you want information specifically on their trading bot. And Bitconnect has said no, they're not doing that. And I can't blame them, because that is the moneymaker. They're not going to do it, brother. They're just not. But there is indeed evidence, as I showed earlier in this video, based on when there's volatility in the market versus consolidation, and it shows through their interest kickouts. what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna end the video here. I would like you to view this video, and if you feel like I have earned that bounty, which I believe I have, what I would like for you to do is to take that $1,000, and you can do one of two things with it. You can email me. I'm gonna leave my email in the description if you want to do this first option. You can send that $1,000 to a shelter charity. It's for a homeless shelter. This is a charity that a good friend of mine, Ozzy the BS Filter, is a part of, and you can donate that $1,000 to the homeless shelter. Or what you can do is you can take out that $1,000 and you can add $10 more to it, and you can submit a $1,010 loan for yourself and generate some cash. And then look at what the trading bot does in relation to the Bitcoin market so you can see yourself, and then earn that $1,000 back. So you can do one or two options, but I think that based on what I've provided in this video, that bounty has been, satisfied. All right. Once again, Mr. David Hay, I think you have an excellent channel, and what I'm going to do is subscribe, because though you're on the other side of Bitconnect, I like your style and the way you went about it, and I think that this is healthy for Bitconnect. And this is why I like to do these type of videos, because I like to engage people like that. Because at the end of the day, we do need clear eyes. We need to see other people on a different side, and they may see certain things that need to be taken into consideration, right? At the end of the day, we've had plenty of people who've noticed issues with Bitconnect's platform, such as Dapper Don, another YouTuber here, such as DJ Face, another YouTuber here, and they've been in contact with Bitconnect and had those situations rectified or satisfied, right? So one thing that I can say about Bitconnect is that they listen to their community. So I hope that you view this video, and I hope you understand what I was doing here, just trying to engage you, and I do respect your work. To my subs that have found this video, I appreciate it, and as you guys know, anytime I come across things like this and I review the work and I feel like the individual is bringing something that is worthy of me to respond to and deal with, then I do that. I don't like the gossip and the flame wars and the hate, but that's not the position that I see David Hayes in. I just think that this is an individual that has some legitimate skepticism based on some misunderstandings, and hopefully I was able to satisfy those things, right? So until next video, ladies and gents, as always, keep earning that crypto. That was always the point. Jeti Knight out.